Hello, Phantom Fam! We hope you had a happy holiday season. Join us today as we prepare to welcome in the new year. So, sit back, relax, because you are listening to Wading into the Void. I'm not even introducing my co-host, nothing. We're jumping right into it.
I mean, shit. You should know by now.
Seriously. So, today we are bringing you a super fun episode where we kind of take a look at some of our favorite moments of 2022. Katie, are you excited as I am?
I don't think the listeners understand just how excited I am. Like, this is a walk down memory lane today.
This is just, yeah, I know. It'll be really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of these things I just recently listened to in order to, like, remember them. And we definitely have some bangers out there. Even with the quality being so low for some of the original episodes, they're still really good episodes.
They are. I mean, like, when we were just chatting about them, like, for this episode, I was totally forgetting we did some of this stuff, and it was just bringing up so much happiness.
Among the plethora of topics we have to discuss today, we're going to hit on some of our favorite funny moments, favorite listener stories, spooky stories, and even a few of the top-tier memes that have been made by you, the listeners.
Hell yeah.
But before we go to any of that, I'm going to have to read the tarot.
Yes.
So.
It wouldn't be an episode without it.
Exactly. So, our oracle for today is the Barbary Zodiac Oracle by Barbara Moore, and the artwork is by Paolo Barbary.
Hello, Barbara and Paolo.
Paolo.
Sing to me, Paolo. Hey now.
Hey
now.
Hey now. This is what... Anyways, throwback to our childhood.
We can't not, whenever the name Paolo comes up. I mean...
I didn't even remember that he's from the Lizzie McGuire movie.
Are you serious? Nah, that movie was, like, my favorite Disney movie.
When I think of the name Paolo, I think of...
Princess Diaries?
Trauma. No, I think of my trauma from middle school.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Here I am, like, sing to me, Paolo. Paolo takes whatever this is... and gives you a princess.
Oh my gosh. So, our oracle for today is Scorpio.
Which, we are in Capricorn season, so I'm a little hurt right now that we got Scorpio.
That would have been nice if we had Capricorn. But anyways, we have Scorpio, who represents water and is fixed, and their key phrase is, I create. The mysterious energy of water takes on the fixed quality of intensity to suggest a determined quest to unearth the truth. The key phrase, I create, plays out as a motivation to create reality based on hand-picked truths. In this situation, ask, what is the truth behind the facade? Things are not always what they seem. The energy of Scorpio is alluring and powerful, and can be dangerous when pursued for its own sake rather than as a means to a healthy and balanced end. Avoid using your powers for evil. Okay.
Yeah, it really said Scorpio.
Yeah, it said, it's not Scorpio season, but it's Scorpio season. So, okay.
It was like,
sure.
You're shitting on Scorpio? Fuck you, it's Scorpio season.
Fuck you and your Capricornness is what it said.
And I'm over here like, I'll fight you.
I'll fucking fight you. We have a really exciting tarot deck for today. I don't even know if this is considered a tarot deck. I have not used this deck before. I bought it a while ago at the bookstore.
Are we using what I think we're using?
We are using the Wild Unknown Alchemy
Yes!
Guidebook. Yes,
I've
I
been
wanted to
waiting
welcome
months
in
for
the
this.
new year. I wanted to welcome in the new year with the alchemy deck because it is just so freaking cool. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is this a polygon or a hexagon? Hexagon, right? 6-sided.
Hold
It's
on.
a hexagon.
I don't
The
fucking
cards
know.
are hexagons,
Let me search.
which are super interesting. It's so cool.
You are correct. It is, in fact, a hexagon.
Okay, that's what I thought. So the cards are a hexagon, and they're in a box inside a bigger box, which doesn't make any sense. But it's so cool. These cards are so interesting. So I don't know what anything means on this page, but I'm going to read it.
It's for aesthetic purposes only.
Yeah, they have information like on the sides. You see that?
Yeah.
Like what? I don't know what those are. But I'll read everything.
What card do we get? What card do we get?
So we got Aries or Mars.
What is with this? It is Capricorn season. We are ruled by
Okay.
Saturn.
Okay, but listen, I do love me some Aries people. They are beautiful.
I am
But Aries,
picky. I have been dating another Capricorn for 3 years.
so
We really said
Aries-
cat pride in this house.
cat pride. See, I'm an Aquarius dating a Leo,
Oh.
who's like the least Leo to ever Leo ever. Which is fine.
My honey has his heavy Capricorn moments. He has
Yeah.
a lot of side hustles. He can't help himself. But he's much more
So-
chill than me. He doesn't have to plan everything, and I'm over here like bulleted list for everything. So
Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. I could never. I can't.
we're like two
I'm
sides.
an Aquarius.
We're two sides to the same Capricorn coin.
I literally just fly by the seat of my fucking pants all the time.
Honey, we know.
So, Aries/Mars represents will, vigor, and activism. So, with Mars by our side, we can assert ourselves in the world. Our presence is felt and our voice is heard. Like a flame, Mars rises upwards and helps us stand strong for what we believe in. Social justice movements are great examples of Mars's energy in action. With clarity of purpose, Mars leads us to peaceful change, the upholding of human rights, and representing the unrepresented. When Mars appears in a reading, there is strength and vigor required to face the challenges ahead. It may take the form of speaking your truth, getting yourself out of a harmful relationship or job, or getting involved in activist work. As alchemists, we must be very precise with our dosage of Mars, as in controlled amounts, it leads to outbursts and violence. Oh, in uncontrolled amounts.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Mars is most potent when paired with ahimsa. Whatever. Mars is most potent when paired with non-violence.
Okay.
And then the sides of the paper say the metal of Mars is iron. To rule with an iron fist illustrates their pairing. If these two cards appear together, you may be doing that. Okay, so they don't really. I only pulled one card.
Yeah.
Mars may express itself through nightmares or distraught dreams. Make sure to utilize creativity when this planet is at work. Draw and dream journal as much as possible.
Okay, so I feel like that card actually kind of just came for me with that last one sentence there. because it's talking about a trauma dream, right? Well,
Yeah.
literally, I guess this morning when I woke up, I had had a dream that my grandmother had run away. So, Susie Sunshine, I had a dream. She like ran away in a snowstorm.
no.
She was like,
No.
bye! I showed up and I'm like,
Felicia.
where's Graham? And my mom's like, we can't find her.
Oh no!
And I'm like,
not
what?
Susie.
So, yeah, that card came for me, and the rest of the day I've spent doing creative things. So it really was like, okay, maybe I should burn my protective incense here today. I'm feeling kind of targeted.
Yeah, maybe. So, that's the cards for today.
They were good. They were interesting.
We are only 11 minutes in. We have a whole episode ahead of us.
I'm so excited for this episode.
You know what? I'm wondering if we should do the voice clips and have like a 2-hour long episode.
I say fuck it. Let's do it.
Okay. Okay. So,
What are we starting with?
I was just about to say that. I don't want to start with the funniest moments because that we have to kind of wait for.
I feel like it's only fitting to start with our favorite intros. Since
You're
it's
right.
the beginning of the pod.
You're right. So, we have to talk about our 3 favorite intros
Yes.
because we have 3. I always think of these ones. I think of 2 of these mostly. Well, 1 I always think of. So I guess that's our like number 1.
Yes.
So do you want to say this bottom one is number 3 and then number 2 and then number 1?
Yeah. I think that works.
Okay. So starting at number 3, our favorite intro of the series so far is definitely Lizzie Borden.
And we are going to insert a clip here. We'll react
Yes.
to it, and it'll be just so much fun. Are we ready?
Yes.
Lizzie Borden took an axe and killed her mother for wax. When she saw what she had done, she gave up on her holy one.
Welcome.
Yes! Katie herself sung that.
I did, and
She sung that for everyone.
I did, and I have always been like, sometimes I can carry a tune, most of the times it's like, please stop. So, like, the fact that I'm out here singing for y'all is, like, top tier. I'm sorry.
Top tier.
But I thought it would be great for, like, a creepy little episode, you know?
It definitely brought the atmosphere and the emotions with it. It is creepy.
Like, I don't
It
know
is
about you,
creepy.
but I actually just kind of got some minor goosies, like,
Yeah, me
listening
too.
to it a little bit.
It's definitely goosebumpy.
It was good. That one was
Okay.
good.
Yes, I really do love that one. And I love that it's one of our more recent ones.
Yes.
And such a big 3-parter for us. Like
Yeah.
our first 3-parter. It's so special.
It will always hold a special place in our heart. I think that one will.
Yes.
And
yeah,
it's local.
definitely.
It's New England centric too. So like it has that
That's
extra
true.
layer where we're kind of like,
True.
okay, represent. But it's funny that you pointed out that that's one of our more recent episodes because these next 2 are
like-
so early on.
So early. Literally like 6 and 7,
Yeah,
I think.
you're right. I think
Yeah.
it might be 6 and 5. No, you're right. 6 and 7.
Yeah, because the number 2 favorite intro, our second place is Katie's Disney episode. And let me just tell you, these are all going to be Katie's intros because I don't have anything. I say,
Welcome.
what's up, ghosts and goblins? I'm like, I say the same thing every single time. But you know it's a Nat episode. But this Disney episode was awesome. I remember this is the first. This is the first intro that we had. Like, first.
That was special, yeah.
Creative intro. Yeah, special intro. And I remember this episode is definitely on some of the other lists for us.
Yes.
Because I just recently re-listened to this episode for like the 50th time. And it is so funny. It is so stupid.
It's like our top, I think, 5 of most played episodes on the podcast.
It's such a good episode for being one of our very first ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is episode 6.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, because right now we're on, like, episode 39.
Yeah.
So...
Which I can't believe we put out that much content in 7 months.
I can't either. Honestly. It's crazy. We were uploading 2 episodes a week at one point.
We were cracked, yeah.
We were absolutely crazy. But...
Are you ready to listen to it?
I'm so ready. Let's play it.
Welcome, ghouls and gals. Don't be afraid to listen close. I'm your host, Kate, and with me is my partner in crime, Nat.
Howdy doody.
I hope you're ready to ride the roller coaster that this episode is going to be. If you're prepared for takeoff, get in line, put your belongings aside, and strap in as we go wading into the void.
Yes!
Honestly,
Oh
I feel
God.
like my favorite part of that one wasn't even...
Howdy doody.
It was that because it was so unexpected. Because when I'm writing the template for these intros, I just like, I'm Kate, and joining me today is Nat, blah, 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 blah. And I kind of pause, give her like a millisecond, just come up with something to say. And she came up with... Howdy doody!
Howdy doody! Okay, well, this episode's pretty iconic because this is the only episode with Nat when she's high.
We then made
Because
a rule
for
you
some
could not
reason-
be.
This is so funny because we recorded this episode twice.
We did.
This is the only episode besides our most recent Cryptids episode that we recorded twice.
Yep.
And the first time, I don't even remember.
I think you were like
But-
half dead, honestly. I think you were sick.
I think we lost the data. Like, one of us didn't record it right or something.
That's what it was. One of our
was the
computers
first
didn't
time.
record half of it.
Yeah, it was the first time we ever lost an episode.
Yes.
So, of course, we had to re-record it because it's a good episode. And I don't know why I was high. I really don't. I think that was when I was like mid like really bad struggle.
Yeah.
Because I would never get high.
I think you're right.
I would never get high now.
Mm-mm.
Because these episodes are important to me. So like
Yeah.
this was a Nat on actual fucking crack.
Well, not really. She was not on crack. She was
No.
not high on crack.
I was smoking weed, which is perfectly legal in the state of Vermont.
Yes, ma'am.
For recreation now.
I do not partake. I still have no interest in it. But I'm just like, you know what, Nat? Get your blaze on, whatever. I don't care. But
This episode is so freaking iconic, though, because of some of the shit that I say, which
Yeah.
we'll talk about.
we will
We'll
talk about later.
So now that leads us to...
I have one more thing I want to say about this one.
Okay,
and it
okay.
will lead into the next one. This background music and things that you hear in these intros, Nat does not hear before they go live because I want it to be a surprise to her what I
Yeah.
put in this damn thing. So
Yeah.
my favorite part of it is just having her text me like at a random point in the day on the day that we release it because we go back and listen to make sure quality control and all of that. And
Yeah.
I'll just get, holy shit, That's amazing.
I do specifically remember this next one. Our
Yes.
number one favorite intro. I still fucking listen to this intro to this day because
die.
it's so fucking funny. And that is our episode 7 Highland episode.
Yes.
Hi lads and lassies, thank you for tuning in. I'm Kate.
And I'm Nat.
We're gonna do things a wee bit different today if you can. I hope you're ready because today we're international. And if you are, sit your arse down because we're going wading into the void.
Every time! Oh my god, every fucking time I cry.
Every fucking time, lads and lasses, I can't
Every
even tell.
fucking time. I'm Kate and I'm Nat. I don't know.
It was like the worst
I did
British
like an
accent I've
Irish.
ever heard in my
Yeah.
life.
I did like Irish or something. I don't even know.
Like, if
Oh
I
my
get going,
God.
I can do a pretty decent Scottish accent. And, like,
Oh my god.
you do not know how hard it was for me to read that fucking intro. I didn't even get to,
Lads
like,
and
my peak
lassies.
Scottish accent, because I was just trying not to laugh. Because Nat and I are looking at each other as I'm reading this, and
We
she's
immediately,
losing
like,
it.
burst out laughing.
But
Oh
so
my
like
God.
that in itself was funny as hell. But the best part was she didn't hear the fucking bagpipes until the day of release. And it was just so great. But
Oh,
where I come up
bagpipes.
with these, like, inserting this extra audio is literally just when I would be editing the pod. And I'm just like, you know what would make this a little extra spicy? If I just...
Added bagpipes. That's the best intro we've had thus far.
It really
And like the fact that the bagpipes are better audio quality than our vocals is so fucking hilarious.
It's so funny.
Oh my god.
But I just also love how on those 2 episodes, the extra audio fuses beautifully with our
Yeah.
actual intro audio. It
Yeah,
like seamlessly flows in, but
Yeah, it's so good.
those
so
are
good.
so
We'll-
good.
I'll have to make my own fancy intro at some point. Maybe in the future. I don't know. We'll
Yes.
see.
I mean, you've made a couple that we didn't talk about or mention here. For the Halloween episodes, Nat made the like audio and outros for that.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
on our
Well,
just last Christmas episode, you do some like special
Yeah.
stuff with the music.
Yeah, I have been making music lately. Sometimes with the help of Nick.
Hello, Nick.
Hello, Nick. We haven't shouted out Nick in a while.
No, we haven't, but maybe that should lead us to our next category.
Our memes?
Yeah.
Our best memes of 2022. Now, this was hard.
It was very hard.
Because Nick and Ben were going toe to freaking toe.
They really
with
were.
the good memes. Like, honestly, great memes. Like, I was cackling like a little witch in my car on the way home from work.
I was at work, and I think I audibly snorted when I saw these for the
Yes.
first time.
Yes. Because, honestly, I can't tell which one's number 1 and what's number 2.
No, I
They're
think
both
you and I
equal.
were just like, okay, well, each take one, because they're too freaking good.
So, honestly, my favorite one goes back to the Disney episode.
Yes.
Because and this is a meme made by Nick. So shout out to Nick for this amazing
Yes.
fucking meme that I always cackle at because it is so fucking funny to me. Just the thought of this is something that happened. This is something that Hi Nat made up. And this is something that somebody Nick made a meme of.
Literally
And
took
that
the
is-
time out of his day.
to make this giant fucking meme, and it is the Buzzy animatronic eBay post meme.
Yes, it's a shitty picture of Buzzy. It has "for sale" in big red letters on the top. And then the caption of the listing is, Asterisk, definitely not stolen. Great condition for an unstolen item. 100% not stolen and ready for sale. Do you like legal, legitimate, non-stolen animatronics? This may be for you. Cash only. Ellipses. Not stolen. So gold.
So good. So good. You really have to put it in there. Not stolen. Not stolen.
And then
So funny.
I think my favorite one is literally because, one, it's
Harry
cryptids,
Potter.
and two, it was like the graphic that Ben made used Harry Potter. So shout out to him because he understands the love. And it's us as Harry and Sirius Black in Prisoner of Azkaban. Nat's face is photoshopped onto Harry. I'm Sirius. We're laying by the pond in the Forbidden Forest. And Nat's standing over me holding her wand, and it says, Nat and Kate on the brink of death in the woods of Maine after Nat promised Kate that they would find a legendary cryptid. And then the next
It's so
picture
fucking funny.
is him photoshopping the Buck Patronus, that is Harry's Patronus, into the fucking Spectre Moose from Maine. And it's just gold. It was so good.
Oh god, the Spectre Moose from Maine. Oh, it's so bad.
And then just like a couple honorable mentions because we can't not. Ben made this one as well. How I assume Kate looks at her tarot deck with a thick stock in episode 13. And it's that one black man who's hiding behind a tree, like rubbing his hands together.
I absolutely love the any of the Disney ones,
Yes.
honestly.
They're
Any of the
gold.
Disney, the Katie and the Dumbo ride,
was
and
just gonna
the
say
adult in the little like
car.
plastic car. I fucking love that one. I love the killing our ancestors one. Because I was trying to say our
Just out here killing
descendants.
ancestors with a cruise ship.
'Cause I was talking about the cruise ships are killing our descendants because it's like causing global warming and stuff like that. And I said ancestors because I was
Instead
high.
of descent.
And then the grandma's coochie one. Like people sprinkling their grandma's ashes on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Yes.
That one, fucking amazing.
Oh,
Oh my god, all of them are amazing. Those are definitely some of my favorites.
Do we want to, since we're on the meme train, do we want to go into funniest moments?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, are we gonna, like, is there any particular order for this? Because I think they're all just gold.
Well, we could start from the bottom and come up because we've already talked about like two of
Okay.
them. So, one of the first funny moments that I think about is my mama gonna like you. From listeners episode, I think part 2, maybe episode 19, possibly.
I think so, because this is, your sister's story, right?
No, this is either
Oh,
listeners
it was the,
or it's Glitch in the Matrix. I don't know.
It's not Glitch in the Matrix. Hold on, let me
Okay.
find this audio.
My mama gonna like you. We said it for like 20 minutes straight.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, you found it?
I did.
What episode?
It is episode 19, Listener Stories Part 2.
Was warranted. We drove
think we
until we were in
missed
the
it.
next city before we like you.
What the?
Over again.
No, we didn't.
And you know the worst fucking thing about it? Not the eyes, not the stillness, not the horrible feeling, not the weirdo in the gas station who kept telling my mom and sister, my mama will like you.
What the
Over and
hell?
over, while mopping the same spot on the floor with a dry mop and an empty bucket.
They like traveled
Bro.
into like a different fucking
No way
dimension or
they just-
something.
No way they just fucking added the my mama will like you randomly at the end. Like, no, it's not that. Like,
You can't just add something like that in the end.
My mama will like you.
No, it was like, my mama will like you. My mama will like you. Like over and over.
My mama will like you. My mama
Why is it
will
a
like
child?
you. I don't know.
I don't think it's
just
a child.
Picture a child.
I
like a creepy
imagine like
child.
a 40-year-old man in like overalls with long hair.
Oh my god, my
Mama would like you. Why do we say
I
it like 50 times in like 10 seconds?
I like your. My mama will like you.
We took like two completely different approaches to that scenario.
I'm like, my mama will like you.
And I'm picturing like some child that's like,
An
my
actual
mama will
baby.
like you. That they're like forced
Oh
to
my
mop the
God.
floors at like the family gas station.
So that's our first funny moment. Now the next one definitely gonna have to be Hi Nat in the Disney episode and all of my Disney conspiracy theories talking about how Hannah Montana Ers turned into Jonas Brother Ers turned into One Direction Ers and that Disney sucks the souls out of people. I don't even think we need to find the clips
I
for
was
that.
gonna say, I feel like we don't need to. I mean,
That's a. If you're wondering about those episodes, just go listen to episode 6 again.
Yeah, no.
It's so
It's
cracked
gold.
out of its mind. I was so high.
Nat's just like, yeah, so I have this theory that
I also said that Wally predicted that Disney was going to be in Monopoly.
yeah.
Which, honestly, that's not a bad conspiracy.
No, it's not, but it was the high ramblings that did it in.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
No, Nat's
So-
like, Disney is powered by a soul-sucking machine. They suck your souls when you go. And I'm just like, stop. Please stop. Stop.
You're like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. And I'm like,
I'm like, are you ever gonna stop? And then she's going on like, so I have this theory that people that watched Hannah Montana loved the Jonas Brothers. And people that loved the Jonas Brothers loved One Direction. And people that loved One Direction now love BTS. And I'm just like, my eyes are rolling in the back of my head. My brain's scrambled just trying to keep up.
honestly, though, it's a valid theory. It's like the boy band theory.
Fair enough.
It's like,
I
who's
mean,
the next boy band?
Well, it's not BTS because they're breaking up because they had to go serve their time in the military. So what is
for
our...
real?
Yeah, you didn't hear that? I thought you would have known that.
No.
No, they are taking a hiatus because each person
That happens
is...
to every group.
No, theirs is like they didn't want to. They, like, it's a legal precaution that they actually
Yeah,
have
that
to take.
happens
because
to every K-pop group.
It's South Korea, right?
Yeah.
Yes, so everyone who
It's
lives...
mandatory
yes.
for people who are like
men who live in
20s
South Korea.
Yeah.
They have to
20-something.
serve like a specific length sentence in their nation's
Yeah.
military.
I mean, that happened to like what is its name? Super something. Happened to EXO. Happened to now BTS. It just happens. They'll come back
Yes.
and they'll be strong.
They all agreed that they want to come back to the band afterwards.
No, nobody wants to go into the military.
Except the people that choose to here in the United States, and thank
Well,
you.
no.
But
But yeah, thank you. But no, I mean in South Korea because it's
where you
mandatory.
physically have no choice. But
Yeah. So anyways,
on that note, what is our next funniest moment?
the Highland Scottish intro.
Which we don't need to play again.
No.
I'm so
we don't.
tempted to, but we don't
I
need to.
would. I totally would.
I can
because
still
it's
hear the
fucking
bagpipes
hilarious.
in my head.
Hi, lads and lassies.
Hi, lads and lassies. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kate, and joining me today is Nat.
Hi. I don't even remember what I said. I said like, oi. Hi, I'm not. So, that leads us to our next one, which is my personal favorite. Katie could care fucking less about this. But I love it because honestly, it's so fucking funny to me. And that is from Cryptids Part 2, Episode 18. It is the squonk. I love the squonk immensely.
You really
I don't even think there's a clip for this. I don't think there's anything. Just, this creature is just so fucking funny to me. This wrinkly, crying creature. I don't know if there's a clip that is even good for this.
I'm not sure if there's a clip from that episode specifically, but there was the one outro we did, and I don't remember what cryptids episode it was,
I
but
think it was that episode.
where we were arguing about what the best cryptid was.
Oh, I don't remember.
I feel like
But I
it might
know
be the
that-
recent one.
If that is all I
Here we go.
have. That's all I have. I don't even have an outro.
We hope you enjoyed this absolute, just
Shit show
Fun.
of a musical episode.
It's better than the first time we recorded it because, yes, we already recorded this, but I was COVID-induced and dying. Until next time, go to fucking Louisiana, put on a mask, go on Bourbon Street, and just be like, ooh, La Rouge à Lou, and people will scream. Or, if you're feeling saucy and sassy, you could dress up as La Chupacabra, just for fun. And
Just for fun! And never, ever, ever forget that the squonk is always going to be the best.
oh,
cryptid,
Jesus Christ, no, it
honestly.
is not!
Yes, it is! Yes, it is!
Mothman!
Anyways.
But Goatman is the sponsor. Oh, fuck, no, not Goatman. Oh my god, I just said that. Oh my god! The Jersey
What did you
Devil
say?
is the sponsor of this podcast. Goodbye.
The Jersey Devil's the mascot. Where is he getting the money from? Where is he getting the money from, Katie?
He's not giving us money, he's giving
Anyways.
us emotional support.
No, he's our mascot. We have our only fan art is of the Jersey Devil.
It's
Our
true.
only fan art. And it's from Cam. Anyways,
Bye.
Cam joined. Oh, yeah, bye!
Oh my god. That made me just laugh so hard. I saw white spots in my
Oh,
vision.
Oh, no, that one's a goodie.
Oh, that one's so good.
But now we have definitely the fucking best on this podcast. And I can't wait
Honestly,
to play this.
Okay, so this is from our first listener episode, which there were so many funny things in this episode. I highly recommend you go listen to this
Yes.
entire episode, because not only did we have this one moment, we had so many other parts in this that were so fucking funny.
Yes.
So good. So, of course, our number one funniest moments has to be the cops in the Barbie convertible.
Absolutely.
From our very first listener episode, which is episode 10.
And I'm
So
already
fucking
dying
funny.
inside waiting to play this. So let's do
Okay.
it.
All right.
Pants, dude.
I'd be like, okay, I think I'm gonna head home early. And I feel like when I went to open the door, like, Sis would drop, like, a fucking ice block on my head.
It'd be like Lovely Bones when he gets knocked off the fucking cliff. Except it's like a
Yes.
fucking dragon lady, like.
You, like, open the door, you're like, man, where the fuck did this chick go? Like, when the doors were open, you go outside, ice just starts falling, you look up, and this bitch is on the roof, like, flapping her arms.
Like she's like screeching, like sonar blasting.
Yeah. cops pull up. They're like, hi, yeah, we got some reports of.
No, the
your
cops
bitch on
pull
the
up,
roof."
they see this weird chick, and they're like, yeah, that's a you problem. And they just drive away.
Small town police problems.
Yeah, they're just like, yeah, nah.
They're like, no, thanks, we're not dealing with this.
This is not in my job description. Bye!
They're like, no, we're not doing this today.
I just imagine them in a pink Barbie convertible for some reason. Like,
They
that's a
pull
you
up
problem.
blaring
Bye!
Barbie girl.
I'm a Barbie girl. And they like start dancing away. Shit, okay.
That's fucking gold.
The dragon's so confused, they just kind of stand there like, oh, what was that? And then
All of a sudden, as someone pulls out like a trank, but it's filled with crystals. Just, they're, like, melting.
it's filled with like fucking like quartz and like obsidian. It's like gotta drag that fucking evil presence out.
Yes.
Which is so interesting to me because knowing about crystals, amethyst is supposed to be a protective crystal.
Maybe she already had something in her and it was like fighting to get out because it was like, ah!
I don't know. I've never heard of
Weird.
crystals being used in that sense.
That's like the majority of it. Oh my god.
I'm actually crying.
That was so
Oh my
freaking
God.
funny.
Oh my gosh.
And you see,
good.
this is perfect. We went in like the complete right order for this because that was from our first listener stories. And now we are going to nosedive into our favorite listener stories that we released in 2022.
We have 3 great ones. Honestly. I love each and every one of these. So they don't have a specific order, but I'll start from the bottom and go up.
And we will not insert audio for these just because they're fairly lengthy. But
Yeah.
we'll talk
We'll
about
talk
like our
about 'em.
favorite, like, you know, hot takes, moments from him whatsoever.
Yeah. So our first one is from someone who is our biggest supporter.
Yes, definitely.
One of our biggest supporters. Between her and another person that we will definitely shout out.
Yes.
This is my sister's story from Pitcher, Oklahoma.
Thank you, Dana. We really
Thank you,
appreciate
Dana.
it. You have sent in numerous stories to the podcast, and you have been here literally since day freaking 1. So,
Seriously.
thank you. And this story was freaking bomb. And you don't know the number of times that Pitcher, Oklahoma has actually come up when I'm researching different things. So ideally, I would like to do
really?
an episode kind of about Pitcher, Oklahoma. So
Yeah, they have a super interesting story, and I know in that episode, which is... Oh, what episode is that?
I think it's listeners 2. So that is episode 19. I believe that's the one it's in. But if it's not, it's definitely in part 3, which is episode 22.
Okay. Yeah, we dedicate the whole, like, last 15, 20 minutes to Pitcher, Oklahoma, because it is such an interesting story in general. And then my sister's story is so freaking creepy. I heard it the first time it happened. Like, she called me and was like, I just saw someone,
Yep.
and then I saw a dog
Yep.
in the same exact spot, and they, like, shrunk down into the size of a dog, and I don't know what the fuck I just saw, but I'm on an indigenous reserve,
Yep.
and it is just so insane.
And that's actually part of what I was going to talk about, and one of the things I would like to focus and incorporate Pitcher, Oklahoma into an episode. So, trigger warning for our Indigenous friends who might be listening to this podcast, but we are going to drop the S word. So, Pitcher, Oklahoma is actually fairly, what's the word I'm looking for? Fairly recognized for being a location that is kind of like infested with skinwalkers.
Oh,
Which
God,
I didn't
really?
know until I was actually researching something and it popped up. So,
Wow.
I would love to do an episode on skinwalkers, or as the morbid girls call them, flesh pedestrians.
Oh, damn, I love that.
And I feel like I can't take that, so like maybe we should come up with something of our own, but I do not think it will ever reach flesh pedestrian greatness. Because
No,
it
the
kind of
only other
takes the
term-
scary away and makes it a little funny.
Yeah.
But,
The only other term I've heard is mimic,
yeah.
because they're technically mimicking somebody else.
Maybe we
That's
should
the
just
only
call
other
them
term.
mimes.
Mimes.
And make fun of them for being like mimes, but they're not actually mimes. But no, but yeah, I would love to do a whole episode, maybe a couple parts dedicated specifically to skinwalkers, because I find them so interesting just in like their lore and all of the things that it relates back to indigenous culture. But
Yeah.
Pitcher is like a hot spot for them, so, which is odd because it's in Oklahoma. So, and
Yeah,
I
it's such a
personally,
random-
because our education's terrible, don't know what tribe resides in Pitcher, Oklahoma, or around that area. But yeah, no, that story was amazing, and I remember when you were telling that to me the first time, and I just got like covered in goosebumps and had the
It's
chills.
such a
and
spooky story. Such a
it was a
spooky story.
good story.
Good story. And now that brings us to our next favorite listener story.
And like we
Which
said,
this one-
no order. These are all
No
just
order.
amazing.
All three of these are awesome. So this one was like our first submission from somebody who listens to the podcast that we don't know.
Yes. And this
And we were
was
so hype about this.
I was so excited, and I'm still fucking excited about this. So thank you, Amber. I believe you mentioned that you had other stories. You sent this to us on Instagram, and it was kind of short and sweet and was just freaking awesome. But please definitely send in any more stories that you have, because you're a very
Yes.
talented writer, and it was a very great story. So
Yes.
Amber was filling us in on a little ghost tour that she and her mother went on when she was a young girl. And she had just witnessed this cloaked figure. I believe it was a red cloak, might have been a black cloak, I don't remember. This cloaked figure literally just like came out of nowhere and just proceeded to walk across the fucking room and vanish through a wall. Like, no doorway, nothing, just a wall. And Amber and this other girl look at each other and they're like, holy shit, did we just see this thing? And I think Amber said she was around like 9? 8 or 9? I don't remember. She said
9
she
or
was
10, I
younger.
think. Yeah.
And they were looking at each other like, holy shit, did we just see that? And so Amber goes to her mother and she's like, Mom, I just saw this. You know how a kid typically would freak out when you're scared, whatever. And her mom was like, you're just seeing things. Stop. And then literally not like 30 seconds or a minute later, the tour guide was like, oh yeah, and fun fact, sometimes people see a cloaked figure come through here and go through that wall. And they hadn't heard Amber, this other young girl, mention it to their parents. So that one was just such a good, like, short little story that Amber shared, because I think it's something a lot of us can relate to, you know? A lot of
It's
people...
like seeing something from the corner of your eye.
Yeah.
And thinking like, oh, did I actually see something?
Exactly.
Or
People that
is my
aren't...
mind playing tricks on me?
People that aren't, like, necessarily strongly connected to, like, the paranormal or, like, different things like that, occulty things, that just kind of get these random occurrences that kind of stick with you. So, I thought that one was great, and I would love if more people like Amber sent things into the story, into the podcast. But the one thing I think that stuck with me the most from Amber was when she sent it in, she sent that such, like, so nice message. Don't you remember the message?
Oh, yeah, I know.
It was like,
Yeah.
I love your podcast. I have notifications
Yes.
turned on. I listen every time you post.
Literally made me cry like a little weeping baby.
And that was in the fairly early days of the pod. That was episode,
Yeah.
we said 19 or 22. We're at episode 39 now. And so that means we had only been doing the podcast for like 3 or 4 months. So the
Yeah.
fact that Amber was like, love your podcast, listen to it religiously, and our audio quality was still shit, and I was just like,
Yeah.
oh my god, Amber, thank you so much.
Oh my god, thank you.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
crying, like, in the bathroom. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you, Amber.
Yes,
because
thank
that was
you.
super meaningful. Super, super meaningful to us. And now that leads us to our very last favorite listener story.
And we
And
aren't
that is-
saying that we don't enjoy all of the other ones that have been sent
Oh,
in.
no.
But these are just a few that have stuck with us this year, you know?
Yes, definitely. So this one is from our most recent listener episode.
Yes.
And it is from Night Lurker, one of my friends.
And that was
And-
episode 37, listener episode part 4, for anyone who might want to go
Yes.
listen.
Yes. So that was the Ouija board story.
Yes.
With all the smoke and the creepy shopkeep and the kids that were touching the Ouija boards. And
Yes.
we still, to this day, don't know if it was some prank,
Yeah.
something actually supernatural that happened, or what have you.
Yeah.
We still have no clue what happened to this day. Night Lurker has no clue what happened. And it is so freaky. So go listen to that episode.
Yes.
And listen to Night Lurker's story. A bit dramatized,
A little, of
but
course.
still super good, super spooky.
Like, they described that story in such good detail, and it might have been the dramatization
Seriously.
of it all, but it was the fact that,
The
like,
way that it read.
yes, as they were describing it to us and writing it down on paper, there was the one moment they were talking about the teenagers, and you could picture them reaching for the planchette, picking it up, and looking through the circle in the center. And
Yeah.
then, like, you could just, like, feel the whole energy of the story shift as the older woman up front, like, transforms into, like, this, like, twisted, could be voodoo priestess, could be demonic possessed whatever. And, like, the smoke and fog and all of just, like, the fun little pizzazz from that story was just amazing.
Yes.
And I think maybe
Alright.
that's what stood out about these stories the most, was just the actual storytelling and how they painted the picture of it all. Like, in
Yeah.
your sister's story, you can, like, see her driving down that, like, empty highway in Pitcher,
Yeah.
Oklahoma, and all you see is, like, trees and abandoned buildings, and then there's just this fucking person, right? And then Amber's, you can feel, like, the whole, like, castle kind of cold abandonedness of it all. And then,
Yeah.
like, you can witness, like, that figure just stalking across the floor, like, kind of floating, you know?
Yeah.
It was
crazy.
just, those are wonderful.
So now we move to our very last topic,
Yes.
which is probably one of my most favorites. Because as much as we have the funny stuff, we have the spooky stuff.
Yes, that's, like, what the whole podcast is about, you know? We want you to feel like
Exactly.
you're sitting there chatting with friends. Like you're around a campfire and you're telling spooky, twisted stories, you know? We don't want it to be too stuffy, but, like, when we're covering true crime cases and things like that, there's that air of seriousness to it. But through our humor, we try and be respectful of the victims, of course, but break it up so you can kind of laugh about strange things.
Yes. Yeah. So I think for this one, I'm going to go from top to bottom.
Okay.
Okay. So starting out, I wanted to say some of the spookiest stories I think are from some of my dreams. Some of
Yeah.
which were too spooky to read.
Yes.
And maybe in the future I will be willing to reread them in their entirety.
Hint, hint,
And-
wink, wink.
Hint, hint, wink, wink. Now that we're not so scared about what we're really putting out there.
Yes. Like, we
I
were
think we-
such, like, tentative little babies at the beginning, and now we're just
know.
like, share it all.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, we want there to be that shock factor
Yes.
now.
It's what makes the
And-
episode good, whether it's a shocking, like, laugh or, like, a stupid story we tell, Or if it's
Yeah.
something just so twisted and out of the box that you're like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah, exactly. So I think some of my dreams were like really, really fucked up. Like I know Katie had to censor a lot of it because that was when Katie was editing the episodes. And I remember the serial killer one about my ex. That
Which I
one,
feel like that one we should have censored a little bit anyway, kind of like we did.
yeah, we did censor that one quite a bit. Because that one had to do with a whole bunch of like violence towards women and stuff like that. And
If we
one
were
of
doing
the-
it now, I might not have censored it as much.
No, yeah, because we say vagina all the time.
Oh, we
But
so
for some
do.
reason we censored vagina.
Maybe it was the
I don't-
context. I don't even remember.
Well, they said pour acid in vagina.
Well, there you go. You've heard it now.
But maybe at some point I'll reread the dreams that we cut.
Yeah.
We only shared them with about 5 of our listeners.
Yeah.
I think like Dana, Ben,
Yeah.
Nick.
People
Like,
in
it's
the
an unlisted-
Discord.
People in the Discord, by the way, if you're not in the Discord, join and you'll get access to a bunch of other stuff that we've never released to anyone else.
It's where you
I
get all the
released-
hot goss, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So I released the unlisted video of me talking about my dreams, the ones that were cut from that episode.
Yep.
And those were really fucked up.
Yes.
Like they weren't even scary. They were just so fucked up that we had to just cut them.
And I think my favorite part about, like, we call the episodes Nat's Twisted Dreamscape, I think.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
I think my favorite part of it is they're not real, necessarily, but
Yeah.
they're psychological in a sense that kind of gets in your mind and kind of plays with it a little bit. And I think, like, that variety of things makes them super interesting in and of themselves. But do you think this is a good time to drop that little sprinkle of, hey, you might be able to expect blank in 2023?
Yeah, in 2023, we really want to do an explicit listener story episode.
Yes, so no, like, yellow taping, no caution,
yes.
no cutting, and we will be blunt about it at the very beginning of the episode, in the description, when we're promoting it on social media. But, like, this is the place where Nat's gonna be able to drop her most twisted shit and anyone that shares them. So it'll be the place to be, you know?
Did I talk about Jack Skellington in that episode?
You did, and I don't think we actually ended up cutting anything from it. Because
I'll
that
have
was
to
your
re-listen.
jaw ripping.
Yeah, and I stabbed him. But I don't... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no,
If-
I think
if I
that
didn't-
one we didn't cut.
Okay. I'll have to re-listen and make sure, because that one's a really good dream. And I will definitely be reading anything that we cut out besides the kid one. That one I think is too fucked up.
Kids are just such a sensitive area.
Yeah, kids are
you
a
know what I'm
sensitive
saying?
topic. So I won't be reading that one, but I'll read the one that involves animals, which is a little disturbing, but it is very interesting.
I know we said no censoring, but if there's a way that we can censor the right things for the kid one, like maybe we go over it, we might be able to put that one out. Because I remember part of what you shared with that one for me, because you started to tell it and we completely cut. So I think
the
there might be
outfits,
way.
if we don't talk about...
Yeah.
Because that one is, like, really weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting one. So, yeah, we'll just have to see.
Yes.
But
Expect that.
those dreams are so fucked up.
They
My
really
dreams are so
are.
fucked up. And then that leads us to the next one.
Yes.
That honestly has stuck with me for a while because it is so disturbing. And I think it's probably one of our most disturbing two-parters that we've ever done and probably will ever do. And that is Gary Ridgway.
Yes, and Gary was, I think the part that might have stuck with us the most is that for some odd reason, he was the first serial killer in true crime case. Other than, I can't remember her name.
Elizabeth?
Yes, Elizabeth, Duchess of whatever the hell. But this was like our first serious true crime case
The
that
Blood
we covered.
Countess or whatever, right?
Yeah. And, like, Gary was extremely violent towards sex workers and things like that. And even in Gary, I censored a decent amount of stuff. So if we were to record Gary, like, it could get even worse. But
yeah, you didn't even really go into, like, what he did to the bodies or anything like that.
Yeah, no.
Really. And honestly, I think the most disturbing part to me was when we read all the names.
At the end, yeah.
That gave me goosebumps, made me want to cry.
Mm-hmm.
I felt awful after that one. That one was so... It's, like, chilling in the most true crime sense.
Yes.
It's, like, not supernatural, like, ooh, spooky. It's like, holy shit, a real person did this to other people.
Yeah, and
Like,
it had
is the
serious
most disturbing.
implications.
It's the most disturbing thing that we have ever covered.
And full disclosure, Nat and I have been talking, or we will talk about episodes that we plan to do in this next year. And me personally, I do want to delve a lot more into, like, the true crime sense of things. So you might be getting quite a bit more Gary Ridgway-esque episodes. And the whole victim naming thing is an aspect that I definitely want to keep in. So at the very end of anything like that, like, we would definitely include the names of all the victims.
I think it's really important. I think it's really important that we give, not credit, but we say the names. Recognition. Because those people were humans that existed and had lives and had people that loved them. And one person completely ruined that.
Yeah.
And I think that there will never be a time where we don't say that.
No.
Where we don't say the victims' names.
No, I don't think so. But, yeah, so I guess this whole little spookiest stories segment is also kind of little things that you can expect from us next year, too. So, yeah.
Yeah, because this next one...
Yeah.
This next one is... I think some of our spookiest stories are definitely from the beginning. And that is my House of Horrors episodes, part 1 and part 2. Part 1, I think, is episode 2.
Let me look. I think you're right. Yes, Whispered from the Void, Nat's House of Horrors.
So good. And I think we will be doing a part 3 at some point.
Yes, but are we going to share what part 3 might kind of center around a little bit?
So
I feel like
we kind of tease this. We tease this a little bit to the Discord, which nobody's really responded yet. They take a couple days to respond. But we recently bought some ghost hunting equipment.
We did.
And that includes a spirit box, an EMF meter, and dowsing rods, pendulum, all that jazz. And we want to buy a camcorder in the future.
Which we're saving up for.
Yes. And an EVP.
Which, like, the EVP and the spirit box, I think, is what I'm most excited for. You know what I mean? They're the most expensive equipment you can get. And they're just chef's kiss. So amazing. Great equipment.
So we will be doing an episode.
Oh, and thermal imaging. Like camera type thingy.
Ooh,
would be fun.
Yeah.
But those
So,
are like $600.
Yeah. Nat's House of Horrors Part 3 will be coming. I will be telling some more stories about experiences that I've had in my house.
Yes.
And I will be doing an investigation with Katie at some point in my
Yes.
parents' house.
And I haven't talked to Nat about this yet, but I was just thinking of this before we came on to record. I think it would be fun to record that episode while we do the ghost hunt right afterwards inside your dark parents' house.
Ooh, I got goosebumps.
We would have
That would be
incense
awesome.
lit, be surrounded just by candles. And I think we could do it in several formats. So we would have the, of course, official recording that we would release to you guys on the pod, edited version, everything, But
Yeah.
I thought it could also be fun to live stream it.
That would
The
be
episode.
very fun. Yes.
Something a little
I would love
different,
to do something like
But
that. Yes.
I thought it would bring the ultimate spook factor if we did the investigation prior, maybe stir some stuff up a little bit, sorry to your parents, we'll smudge it afterwards. But
I do have a smudge stick.
and
I do also, another thing that I told Katie that I didn't really give her a lot of information about is that we have a volunteer to do an investigation at their
Yes.
house. They live in a 200-year-old Victorian house, or Victorian style house. And they hear humming, whispering, people walking,
yeah,
all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yep.
And they volunteered to let us do an investigation there,
which is
sometime
awesome.
in the future. So
And
it's very exciting.
this is something that you can expect from us more next year. And Nat and I, we're sitting down after this episode. We are formally hosting, a marketing meeting between the two of us. And we're drawing shit out for 2023.
Yeah.
And this is a type of format that I would love to introduce for the podcast next year a little bit more. Is those ghost hunts, and they will come in the form a lot on our social media channels. So we will name drop the channels where you can find us and everything at the end of the episode. But I think it'll bring so much more depth to the pod because we'll have that
Yes.
video content that we can share on social. But at the end of every investigation, I would love to host, whether it's a round table of the people that we have there helping us investigate, because we've had people that said they want to join us. And we could just literally discuss what we encountered that night, things like that. Just something interesting. And I can see that's where the Whispers from the Void episode's going in 2023.
Yes.
And
Yes, Whispers from the Void could be our Q&A follow-up episodes. We're
Exactly.
bringing back that title, bringing back that idea of this Whispers from the Void, which I love that idea, honestly.
it would be just so much fun. It adds a whole nother element
Yeah.
that makes our podcast stand out from the rest of the spooky or true crime podcasts. I
Yeah,
have
man.
not seen that format. So going forward, be on the lookout for that. But
We have so many ideas.
it's going to
Now,
be such a
let's-
good year.
Let's go to our last spookiest story.
And what I would say
these-
would be the game changer for
I think
2023.
definitely was our biggest game changer for 2023 because this was our very first guest
Yes.
on the podcast.
It came a lot of firsts there. Very first guests, very first three-parter,
Three-parter.
very
Yes.
first Halloween spooktacular. This, it turned out being a mini-series, was just a huge changing point for us this year, I think. It introduced a wonderful new friend in the form of Diana. Hello,
Yes.
Apothecary Blends Tea Company. And yeah, it was just so good. Lizzie Borden,
Definitely.
man.
with the true crime and the haunts and the stories from Diana herself.
And
all
theories
three,
at the end, because it's
and
still
the theories,
unsolved.
everything about it was just so crisp, clean, and high quality.
I was so
It was
proud of myself for that series.
So proud. I'm so proud of you for
Thank you.
putting those out there. And all I had to do was sit and be funny. Like, that's all I had to do. And Katie worked her ass off for these 3 episodes. And
Yeah.
Diana, like, reached out to us and she volunteered her time to us. And she really helped us out a lot. And honestly, I think that was one of our best miniseries or
That we've
series
done.
or whatever
Yeah.
that we've ever done. And I think, I hope to have more like that in the future.
Yes. And one common theme from this episode that I think you might have noted now before we, wrap this one up. Wait for that ball to drop if you're listening on New Year's Eve. But we have been shouting out a couple of people here, that have kind of made our first, not even full year, but first year doing the podcast just so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
we've shouted out Dana, we've shouted out Amber, our first, original story sender. We've shouted out Diana, first guest on the pod. But I also think we've of course shouted out Ben and Nick as well.
Night Lurker.
But I think there are 2 other people that we need to shout out.
Okay.
So, first, I think we need to shout out Cam. Hello, Cam. You provided us
Cam.
our first fan art for the podcast, which was
Which is amazing, by the
so
way.
much fun. Like, you took time
We
out of your
love
day
it.
to create that. Like, it was so special.
He did an art project for school.
Yeah. I
Like,
was like, hello,
He made our
podcast, okay.
podcast, our little thing from the podcast, an art project for school, which is
Which-
amazing.
I know, and like Nat,
It makes me wanna
she's tearing
cry.
up.
Yeah.
But then there was one person I would say was very influential to us feeling motivated when we first started this whole thing. And it's been a while since we've heard from them. And we just hope all is well, and it wouldn't feel right if we didn't wrap this up without shouting them out. So,
Yes.
CL, wherever you are, if you're still listening, I hope everything's going well for you. But
Yes.
you were such a key part to us just pushing through and continuing to do this podcast.
Yes.
You
She
were
was
the
definitely-
first, Patreon we had, and
She was the first Patreon patron. She was the first person in our Discord.
yes,
She was the first person who really talked to us about our tarot readings,
Yeah.
our cards, our episodes. It is just, she is such a pivotal person in the podcast. And like Katie said, we haven't heard from her in a little while. And I know there were some personal things, which is fine. We still obviously support her, love her, can't wait for her to return at some point in the future.
obviously we
and-
still think about her every now and
Yes.
then. Like,
Yes, Katie and I were just randomly like, I wonder how CL is. Like, we haven't heard from her in forever.
yeah,
And
because she was in that
Yes.
Discord server all the time, chatting,
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
Nat said, she had some personal things she had to work through. But we just really want to wish her well if she's listening and hope that everything's going great for her. But
Yeah.
without CL, I don't know if Nat and I would still be wading into the void, essentially.
honestly,
So, without CL, you might not have this. So, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you to all of you that have made the first 7 months and 2022 of Wading into the Void so special for us.
because seriously, it has been a special year. I can't think of anything else that I would be doing with my time as productive as doing the podcast.
It's a creative outlet. It allows you to, fulfill those research tendencies if, you have those. You're learning weird fun facts. It's allowing us to get in tune with our spiritual side. There's so
And
much
honestly,
about this podcast.
I have become better at speaking.
Yeah. Much more confident in what you're saying, in, like,
Yeah.
delivery and things like that. I
Yeah.
would agree, totally. Like, I don't
But-
question myself as much anymore. I'm just like, I'm doing this. People are gonna listen when I speak. And, you know, it's just been such a good year.
It's so special.
I don't know how else to wrap this up other than saying thank you.
Well, we could tell them a little bit about some more plans for 2023.
Or we could
Or-
just wrap it up by this one last thing that we did in 2022 that we have been talking about since the beginning of this podcast. Give our socials, sign off, and call it a day.
Okay.
It has been months in the making. So much time and effort and just creative juices flowing into this one project. And we finally took the leap after doing some, you know, digging and discovery and figuring things out. And we officially published our website, www.wadingintothevoid.com. And in addition to that, we released our first merch collection. Yes, merch collection.
Yes!
And, like, it's just so freaking exciting. We have Ice Pick Lobotomy, like, a mini merch collection. We have the Jersey Devil merch collection, tarot-centric merch collection, and just general Wading Into the Void logo wear. And
It's amazing. Katie's amazing. Katie's done so much fucking work for us. It's so crazy how little that I fucking do for this podcast.
no,
I show up, I be funny, I edit. That's all I do.
But
Katie
editing
does
is a
all the
very
genius
crucial part of this.
Okay, editing is a very crucial part. But Katie does so much for this podcast. You guys don't even understand. Any reel you see, any merch that you see, anything that you see on the social medias usually is from Katie because she works her ass off. She works her ass off for us.
I try, man. It's that Capricorn energy. I can't help myself.
Yeah. And, like, I try what I can do to, like, be a personality and be, like, this one half of the podcast. But Katie really does so much for this podcast. You guys don't even understand.
She's short selling herself. She is out there. She's pushing this fucking podcast to so many people in so many different groups. And the number of people that have found the podcast through Nat is astronomical. And she's so good about marketing it in her own word-to-mouth, like, way that you can't comprehend. Like, she goes to
I be out
Comic-Con.
here.
She throws her fucking business cards at people. Like, she makes connections with these small shop owners on time that, like, I don't have to do these things. And she really takes those word of mouth and business to business fucking marketing connections to a new level. And she does the damn thing.
I love people.
I typically don't. So, like, this is why we mesh so well.
Yes. Yes. And this is why we just work. It
It
works. Everything works. And I see us having a beautiful, beautiful future.
Yes, 2023 is
Honestly.
going to be the year of Wading Into the Void.
It's our year of growth. We have a full year to grow.
Yeah.
We've only had 7 months this year. And we've
7
already
months.
done so much fucking shit.
Yeah. No, I am just astronomically proud of the two of us.
Yeah, me too.
But I think that's the best place to wrap it. So,
Yeah, honestly.
if you want to check out our merch shop or even check out the website, you can do that by going to www.wadingintothevoid.com. And if you don't feel like typing that in, you could go on our social media channels, which you can find us on TikTok and Twitter. No Twitter. TikTok and Instagram at
Wading Into the Void.
And, you know, we're on Discord as well. We've talked about that a lot in this episode. So go check us out there. The link is in the bio. And there's just one other small thing that you could do to support this podcast. And Nat will tell you about it now because she is good at talking about it and I am not. So Nat, let it go.
So, you know by now that we have Patreon that we don't use at all. But you could you could support us on Patreon or on Anchor.
Yes.
We have a beautiful link on Anchor and Spotify to our Anchor because Anchor and Spotify are one and the same.
Yeah, they are.
And you can donate to us monthly or donate to us one time. Doesn't really matter. However much you want to give.
Literally as little as $1.
Literally $1 will make me cry. But yeah, if you want to support us and you want to show us how much you love us, please donate to us on Anchor.
Yes.
We will greatly appreciate it, and all sales from Spreadshop and all donations from Anchor will go directly back into the podcast so we can improve our quality and can add more things to the things that we do.
Yes. Quality and content and creativity.
Quality, content, creativity, the three...
I was going to say 3 C's.
The three...
The 3 C sounding things.
three C-sounding things.
No, but that's the perfect way to wrap it. And we'll finish it up by saying thank you, everyone, for supporting us this year. We hope you had a
Seriously.
wonderful 2022. And Happy New Year.
Here's to 2023.
Yes. Bye, everyone.
Bye.